Hey, um, as you expected, I totally forgot to film an intro for this video, so here we are. Here we freaking are, okay? What sparked my curiosity for making this video was I was scrolling on TikTok and I saw these people asking ChatGPT to do a color analysis for them and for fashion advice and like figuring out like what would look good on you, or like if you have a long torso or a small torso, or like what type of shoes would look better on you. And it sparked my curiosity because I was like, whoa, this other person asked ChatGPT to describe their soulmate, and that was the icing on top of the cake for me, because something about me is I'm a hopeless romantic, I think is what the saying is. But I want to know the drama of my life. So yeah. So here we are. In this video I am going to figure out more about my soulmate and see like who they are and what they're like. So yeah, I hope you enjoy. I kind of feel like maybe there is I think that there is a person for everybody out there, but like also so many people in the world, so like there's no way that there is just like one person for you out there, you know what I mean? I feel like ChatGPT kind of memorizes things about you, and I hate being analyzed. I moved you guys closer because I have separation anxiety. Okay, so I kind of just asked, can you describe my soulmate? And they asked me who I'm interested in, which is kind of a dead giveaway. So I'm gonna give them as little as possible information about who I'm interested in. I like calm, funny, intelligent men who are tall. And they responded back with, got it, you're drawn to a calm, funny, and intelligent man with a tall presence. Slenderman? Brown hair and brown eyes. I kind of like how they just threw that in there, because I don't remember saying brown hair and brown eyes. And maybe a subtle charm behind glasses. Here's how I describe your soulmate. So then they go into describing my soulmate. First of all, in my message, I didn't say brown hair and brown eyes. Second of all, I did not say I like men with glasses. That's interesting. And it goes on to say, your soulmate moves through the world with quiet confidence, never needing to be the loudest in the room, but always the one who makes you feel the most seen. He's tall, the kind of tall that makes you feel instantly safe when he stands beside you. Why is this low-key kind of like smut? Why is this low-key kind of like smut? Instantly safe when he stands beside you, with warm brown eyes that always seem to be reading between the lines. His hair is a soft shade of brown that catches the light just enough, and on days when he wears glasses, there's something endearingly intellectual about him, like a modern day professor who still remembers how to make you laugh until you can't breathe. His humor is smart, dry, and surprising, never trying too hard, but always hitting exactly right. He listens more than he talks. I love a man that listens. As somebody who is a listener, sometimes listeners need listeners too, you know what I mean? But when he speaks, it's with depth and intention. He's the kind of guy who knows random facts and the perfect comebacks, who holds your hand without needing a reason. Stay away from me. And who somehow makes the world feel a little quieter, a little more grounded just by being in it. Whoa. That's insane. My first internal instincts of this is crazy, because I do not remember saying that I'm interested in brown hair and brown eyes. It kind of just came up with that because I don't know, but I mean, to be fair, like most of the world population has brown hair and brown eyes, you know? But the glasses though, there's something about a man who cannot see. But interestingly enough, in this, it says that he sometimes wears glasses. So I don't know. I also like how it's giving like a storybook description of this, you know what I mean? And then they ask, would you like me to make it more romantic, poetic, or even turn it into a little story. I said yes with an exclamation point because I like yelling at people. Except this isn't really a person, but I always say, whenever I use ChatGPT, I'm always saying yes please, or like thank you, or like whatever, because I take over the world. I know they're not gonna come after me. No, they're not gonna come after me because I said please and thank you. So they said, all right, here's your dreamy little scene. Custom built for you and your brown-eyed brainy soulmate. Bitch, what the fuck? Bitch, what the fuck? Okay. Oh my god. Oh my god. What am I doing with my life right now, bruh? First of all, the first sentence is a slow Sunday morning. Girl, I've got a gun. I probably shouldn't say that so loud because my neighbors can hear me. So it's a slow Sunday morning. Rain taps gently on the windows. I feel like I need to light a candle or something because like I feel... What if I actually did, bro? What if I actually did? Yay! Yay! They just look like white blobs on my couch, but that's okay. It's a slow Sunday morning. Rain... I hate this so much. It taps gently on the windows, like it's trying not to wake, and the air smells like coffee and something warm from the oven. You're curled up on the couch. It knows me so well, bruh. I live right here. Blanket tucked around your legs. Flipping through a book you've already read but love too much to shelve. He walks in, barefoot and sleepy. Hell no, that man needs to put shoes on or something, or socks. I'm not seeing no bare feet like that. Ugh. Ugh. I've seen men wear flip-flops and they need to not wear flip-flops. Hair messy from the pillow. Glasses slightly crooked on his nose. He's tall enough that he ducks just a little under the kitchen doorway, holding 2 mugs. One for you and one for him. Wow, how does he know I like coffee? The way you like yours already memorized. Okay, but like, to be fair though, like, honestly, like, it's so cute that this has never happened to me. It isn't an original experience. Like, to have like a partner or somebody like know exactly like the color of your coffee, whether it's like a light brown or like a milky color or whatever. But like, first of all, if it's milk colored, I doubt that there's any coffee in there, but to be fair, I think it's so cute. Like, that is so wholesome. So one of my things, you know. But anyways, this is so embarrassing. This is okay, is this my humiliation ritual? Because his voice is a low, cozy kind of gravel when he speaks. You're reading that again? He teases. Gotta read it in his voice. I just coughed like how your parents cough like when they wake up in the morning. Sorry, my bad. You're reading that again? I don't know why I just sound like Bane from Batman, but that's fine. He teases, a slow grin spreading across his face. When they said that, all I can imagine is the Cheshire Cat. I guess I've got competition. You roll your eyes, but can't help smiling back. He sinks down next to you, arms settling behind your shoulders. Is he like gripping my shoulder blade? Like, what's happening here? Without needing to ask. Oh. The two of you sit there in that quiet morning bubble. No rush, no noise, just the rhythm of the rain, the scent of cinnamon and coffee, and his calm presence beside you. He starts telling you some strange, clever fact he read last night. Something so random and specific, it shouldn't make you laugh, but it does. Because it's him, and somehow with him, everything feels like exactly where you're supposed to be. Girl, shut the hell up. Also, it says that there's something in the oven. I bet that thing is burnt, because in this whole thing, it doesn't even say, boy, in this whole thing, it doesn't even say that, like, we took it out of the oven. You know what I mean? What more scenes like this first date, road trip, or even how you meet moment? I said how you met with 3 exclamation points because I like yelling at people. This is the one where fate steps in. Here's how you meet him. It wasn't a grand moment. No fireworks, no dramatic music swelling in the background. It was just a regular afternoon, somewhere halfway between an errand and a detour. You'd ducked into a little bookstore cafe, the kind with creaky floors, mismatched chairs, and staff who know every regular's coffee order by heart. You were only supposed to be in for 5 minutes, maybe 10. Just enough to grab a drink and pretend to browse while you cleared your head. He was in the philosophy section, not in a pretentious way, more like someone genuinely trying to understand the world. Tall, a little scruffy, wearing a navy sweater that made his eyes seem warmer than brown, like burnt sugar. But first of all, okay, let's just dissect this really fast. He's in the philosophy section. I'm literally dead. I'm dying. My dang brain is dead. That's crazy. I bet he's reading Symposium by Plato. Nobody knows that book. Nobody reads that book, by the way. If you've read that book, no, you have not. Don't even play with me about philosophy because, babe. First of all, what do they mean by scruffy? Are we talking like mysterious mountain man type scruffy or like a werewolf type scruffy? Somebody's getting back shots and it ain't me. But there's a difference there. Also, a navy sweater. Girl, only I can look good in navy. Only I can look good in navy. Just saying, that's my color. So we're gonna be fighting. He had glasses on. The kind that made you wonder what he looked like without them. He was holding a book, The Little Prince. Of all things, smiling slightly to himself like he was remembering something. You caught his eye by accident, and for a split second, there was a flicker of recognition. Not the, oh, I've seen you before, but the quieter kind. The kind that says, there you are. He glanced down at the book in your hand and raised an eyebrow. Good choice, he said. His voice was calm, thoughtful, deep enough that you wanted him to keep talking. Oh, I forgot I'm supposed to be doing voices. You bantered about books, then coffee. Then something else you can't even remember because your heart had started doing that annoying fluttery thing. How do they know I have heart palpitations? How do they know that I have How do they know that? How do they know I have heart problems? How do they know I have circulation issues? He had this way of looking at you like he was genuinely listening, like he saw right through the small talk, but let it play out anyway, just to keep hearing you speak. Before you knew it, he asked softly, like he wasn't trying to impress anyone. Let me do the voice. I'm sorry. I forgot. I'll take full accountability for forgetting to do voices. Before you knew it, he asked softly, like he wasn't trying to impress anyone. Would it be weird if I asked you to keep talking over coffee? And that was the beginning. No sparks flying, just a steady, quiet warmth, the kind that lasts. Again, want a version from his point of view next? They'd be asking me way too many questions. And obviously, I'm gonna say yes. I said, okay, go off. And then they said, ooh, yes, here's the moment you meet, but now through his eyes. Disgusting. He almost didn't go in. He'd walked past that bookstore cafe a dozen times before, always telling himself he'd stop in next time. But today, something about the gray sky and the way the air smelled like rain and pavement pulled him in. Also, when pavement gets wet, bro, why do I low-key like the smell of that? He told himself he just needed a moment to be still. Maybe a book, maybe a coffee, maybe nothing at all. He wandered to the philosophy section, not because he had answers, but because he was always quietly chasing after questions, or chasing better questions. He picked up The Little Prince without thinking. It was one of the books that felt like a whisper from a younger version of himself. He turned it over in his hand, smiling faintly. Then you, italicized, walked in. That's right. When I walk in, bro, straight out of a Western, bro. Like, whenever I walk into the doors, it's just like, meow, meow, meow. He didn't hear the door. He just felt you. That's kind of a crazy thing to say. That strange weightless moment, like when a song starts playing and you suddenly realize the room has gone quiet. You move with a casual kind of confidence, the kind that comes from someone who isn't trying to be noticed but somehow always is. First of all, I'm a big bitch. Guys, I'm too hot. I'm making the camera warm. I don't know what to do. Should I put like a fan out here? How come nobody told me that my candle was knocked over. You move with a casual kind of confidence, the kind that comes from someone who isn't trying to be noticed but somehow always is. He glanced up, then froze. I have that effect on men. It's called fight or flight. Just for a second, when your eyes met his, something shifted. Not a lightning strike, more like recognition. Again with the recognition, girl, what do you mean? The rare kind of quiet that settles in when your soul leans forward. Why is this low-key kind of poetic? You held a book. He noticed what it was, of course. He always notices. Girl, don't play with me. He saw the way your fingers curled around the spine like it mattered. He offered you a smile, then a comment. Something simple, just enough to open a door. And when you laughed, I have a pretty gnarly laugh, so this is probably not true. This is probably not true. Something clicked into place, like an old record slipping perfectly onto the player ready to spin. He didn't plan to talk long, but he couldn't help himself. The way you listened, the way you responded with that smart, quick humor, it threw him, in the best way. He hadn't expected you today, but here you were. So he asked, not with bravado, just with hope. Would it be weird to ask you to keep talking over coffee? You said yes, and in that moment, everything in him went still, like the universe had taken a breath and finally exhaled. Do you want to keep building this story, like what happens on that coffee date, or the first I think I'm in love moment? So then I asked for the coffee dates because love is scary. Stay away from me. Yes, let's dive into that first coffee date, the one where everything changes without either of you realizing just how much yet. You sit across from him at a small table by the window, rain tracing. Why is it always raining? Why is it always raining when we're ganged up, okay? You sit across from him at a small table at the window, rain tracing slow lines down the glass, like the world itself is calming down to make space for the two of you. The cafe is cozy, but not too crowded. Just enough hum of life in the background to let you sink into your own little world together. He's sipping something simple, black coffee, no fuss. Gross. He keeps glancing at your drink with curiosity, like he wants to try something you're having but won't say it out loud. So you offer it casually, and when he tastes it, his eyebrows lift just a little, impressed. Okay, you win, he says. Yours is better. You talk, not just about books or favorite movies, though those come up. It starts there, but somehow you drift into deeper waters without even meaning to. Childhood stories. The weird things your families do. What scares you? What calms you? You find out he reads when he can't sleep. That he's always been the one his friends turn to when they need grounding. He listens when you talk, like he's cataloging every word, not to memorize you, but to understand you. First of all, I totally relate to being your friend's therapist because I'm always the person who's giving advice to my friends, so I totally relate to that. And he's funny, quietly funny, the kind of dry wit that sneaks up on you and suddenly you're laughing harder than you expected. He laughs too, a low surprise sound, like it doesn't happen often, but he likes the way it feels when it's with you. At one point, your knees brush under the table. Bro, imagine your knees. Honestly, if y'all hit my kneecaps with your kneecaps, I'm also extremely tall, so I see we're gonna be fighting for space, I guess. And I'm gonna win, obviously. At one point, your knees brush under the table and neither of you move. Not right away, just a shared stillness that feels natural. Like it was always meant to happen that way. He watches you while you talk, not in a way that makes you self-conscious, but in a way that makes you feel seen. Like no one has ever looked at you and actually looked at you before. When it's time to leave, neither of you says it out loud, but there's this unspoken thing hanging in the air. This isn't the last time. He walks you out, holding the door without thinking twice. Rain still falling soft around you. He hesitates and asks, "Hey, can I see you again?" And your answer comes easily, so instinctively. It feels like the only truth in the world. Yeah, I was hoping you'd... Oh, wait, no, that's supposed to be me. I guess we're two men in a relationship. I'm an ally. It feels like the only truth in the world. Yeah, I was hoping you'd ask. Okay, that's kind of cute. Guess who it freaking is, guys? It's editing Dr. Swagmaster here. I forgot to film an outro for this video, so a little sad, but are we surprised? Are we surprised? Anyways, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this part 1. There's a part 2 coming next Tuesday, so I hope you guys enjoy. So there's a part 2 coming June 8th, so next Tuesday. I hope you guys enjoy this, and leave a like and subscribe. Anyways, alright, bye. Bye.